hope you're well. If you saw my last video, you would have seen I got my green card. I am so still like stoked and overwhelmed and excited about it all, and it's fantastic news. I'm assuming I have it. They've got my passport, so they should be putting it in and sending my passport to me, and I should be all sweet to go. This is so awkward if it never happens. Anyway, I got such beautiful messages after my last video. I had a lot of people reach out to me after they had actually done it themselves and tried, or they were looking to try, and honestly, it was one of the most stressful experiences of my life. I was talking to these beautiful people and I was like, there's honestly no information out there, is there? And they're like, no. And that was honestly such a problem for me. I really struggled with the lack of communication and information there was. I was Googling all the time, I was YouTubing things all the time, and there was nothing. So I thought that now that it is potentially, assumingly in my hands, that I would make a video myself for all you people that are looking to do it or have applied already. So I'm pretty much putting a video together of the things I wish I had known before I applied for my green card. So if that's you and you're interested, keep watching. Hopefully this helps you. So let's start with what is the actual visa lottery. I honestly looked into so many ways to like move to the US and work there. All I could see is like sponsorship and work visas, and they honestly have visas up to like the Z visa. There's A, K, B1, B2, like there's every letter, and it's so confusing. You don't know what you need, what you can get, what you shouldn't get. And I honestly never even came across the visa lottery until my mom found it. And if you know me, I love my research, so that was very weird that she got to it before me. I'm so grateful she did. So pretty much what it is literally a lottery system, and they call it the golden ticket. Now, I didn't know how authentic the lottery part of it was till I was researching a bit more about it, because when I was doing it, there was nothing. But recently, people have put up some stuff because Trump is trying to stop the system. He wants to ban it. Last November, he said, we need to get rid of the lottery program as soon as possible. I don't know if it will continue this year or not, but when the application time comes around, I really suggest give it a shot if you're thinking about it for the future, because this might be your last chance to do so. People call it the golden ticket, and it legitimately is the golden ticket. So you have 50,000 people all over the world get to come into the US, win a green card. 5 to 15 million some years apply. So it's pretty much like a 1 to 5% chance that you'll get it. So when I'm like looking at these statistics and stuff, I'm so grateful. To apply for the first start, you would kind of know if you're eligible. It's simple things like finished high school, have a job. It's pretty much showing them that you would be able to support yourself if you moved over there and wouldn't have to rely on anyone and wouldn't kind of be bringing down the country in any way or form. You'd be bringing them up because you've got particular skills. So with that said, and just like basic things like that, you can apply, and then a computer generates the lotteries, and then you're pulled out and then go on for further processing. It happens once a year. You've only got a very small window of opportunity to actually apply, just like a month max. It's usually like mid to late September to mid to late October, and that's it. And then you have to wait for the whole next year to apply again. When I found out about it from my mom, it was very late in the year. It was probably like November, early December, so that meant I had to wait a whole other year to apply. I say it like took like 3 years. It legitimately did, because I was waiting to just apply. And the other thing to know is not every country is able to apply every year. They have this, I think it's, you have to have less than 50,000 from your country within the last 5 years. If you've exceeded that limit, or 7% of your population, it's some weird statistic, your country is eligible for that year. For example, people that applied last September, October 2017, India can't apply, the UK can't apply except for North Ireland, Canada can't apply. Like, people had already like filled the quota the last couple of years, all eligible. So maybe next year, hopefully, for you guys. I'm sorry. The other thing to know, people that are living there on a non-immigrant visa at the moment, you can apply even though you're in the country. Oh, you've applied. It is end of October, entries are closed, that's it. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 7 months later, May the 15th, they love to do things on the 15th or the 14th. I found every new like piece of information is on the 14th or the 15th. They're like the mid of the month. Seriously, if there's anything you do from your October thing, is save your confirmation codes and just screenshot the shit out of everything and save it. Save it, save it, save it. There's like so many long different numbers and everything. Save it all. I still don't know which ones I was supposed to keep, which ones I'm not. You need it all, okay? 15th of May, they don't even tell you. You can check whether you've got it or not. You might get an email in your junk folder saying, oh, go log into your account and check if you've got it. keep your confirmation codes, because that is your, like, how to log in. You need the confirmation codes, you need your last name and your year of birth, and then you just type the security thing, and then you see if you were successful or you were not. If you weren't, I'm sorry, try again for sure. Just keep trying. I've literally heard now that people try for like 10 years and still don't get it. Just like, you never know your luck. At this point, you're not paying anything, so just have a go. May, my life changed. 15th of May, I was like, oh my God, I still remember it to this day, what happened. I was like, oh my God, I got it, I'm in. You're not in, by the way, you're not getting a green card. You are pulled out of the lottery. And you're like, holy shit. Well, that was what I was doing. And my mom was like, as if you, like, she couldn't believe it. But the day I got it, I did not do the next part of the application. I was like so stressed out by it. And I was like, I need time, I need to sit down, I need to do it properly. I ended up doing it like 2 days later. If I have any more advice, do it as soon as you can. Don't wait too long. I mean, 2 days later wasn't gonna kill anyone. It's not the end of the world, but take your time and do it properly. It is long. It is a long application. It was a Sunday when I did it. I had plans for brunch with my friend. Again, I kept having to like say, sorry, I need another hour. I need another hour. It took me 4 hours to complete, and I was doing it, I wasn't like so slow and taking breaks or anything. I was like doing it as fast as I can, but doing it properly, and it really does take you a few hours. For me, it took more time. I'm not gonna go into it, but again, if you've watched my earlier vlogs, I have had visa issues with the US in the past, including jail and deportation. So, with that, clearly state there, have you ever been deported from the United States? If so, what happened? And I had to like say it in the nicest way possible. And you know, again, I wasn't charged, I wasn't a bad person, it's all good. I like totally don't have a criminal record. You don't want to rush anything. You want to make sure you've got all your passport documents, everything that you can possibly do to like tick your application, do it. After that's through the system, there's nothing else to do again but wait. Literally, you just wait. You don't hear anything and you start freaking out like, shit, was my application through? Did I send the right forms? Did I even do the right application? Because there's so many out there. I remember I couldn't even log into the last part of it. So I can't remember what happened, but they were like, put this code in. And again, that was one of the codes that you got from October. And I was putting it in and it wasn't working. I was Googling it and people had put on some random forum like, why isn't this working? And someone had figured out you're not supposed to put the zeros in there and it's something else. But they don't tell you. They don't tell you anything. It's very hard to understand. So you just have to try and find it out yourself. And honestly, don't stress. It's okay. There are other people out there struggling, I found. It's not just me like freaking out that I can't get my code in there, because I swear it's my code. Everyone is freaking out and everyone's kind of in the same boat. They're all confused. I remember, and they say, we'll send you an email when it's time to do your interviews and everything. But they don't tell you how long you have to wait. And I was just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I was like, oh my God, it's not through. I didn't get a confirmation email. I didn't get a like declined email. I didn't get anything. There's nothing. And you can call up, you can email the consulate. They're based in Kentucky, I think. I don't know about everyone else, but time-wise in Australia, that is a very hard time to get in touch with them. At that point, we're either sleeping or you're sleeping. It was very muddled. And I remember one night after night shift, I finished at 2 a.m. I got home, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I called them. I was like, look, when is this happening? Is it through? Is it not? And they were like, oh, you find out like August 15th. I was like, are you serious? This is information that would have been helpful. I'm freaking out here that I didn't get anywhere, and they don't tell you that it takes months before you get an email saying, oh, you know, you'll get a number now. So keep that in mind. About August the 15th, again the 15th, you will find out your number. And that takes you to the next step. So August 15th, I found out my number. Put the 15th in your calendar, just do it, because that is when they do everything. The 15th of August is when they start releasing the newsletters. Every month there's a new newsletter. It's so long and you don't understand anything. By the way, it's not a newsletter, it's called a bulletin. And you have to just keep scrolling until you see what number they're actually up to. You can see that it's kind of like this grid thing, and they do it via continent. So you've got like your North America, your Oceania, your Africa, and you kind of just like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Anyway, you have to go back to your confirmation code, and and again, they don't tell you this is your number. I only found out because I sent them an email. I was like, what is my number? And it is your confirmation code. So they've got those 10000. Mine was 576. That was my number, 576, okay? That's how it works. I suggest you do sign up for the bulletins. Again, another hard process. It's not like, you know, you get emails all the time from people and they're like, oh, give your email address and sign up and you're ticked and you're in the emailing system. No, you have to sign up, then they have to confirm via email, then you have to take that confirmation code via email and go back in to the sign up, which can take days later, and then they have to, it was like a 3-step process just to get the bulletin in your mailbox. And I was like, really? Why? But anyway, just do it. Either do it or have the link favorited on your like computer and check it religiously. I checked it like every week, even though I knew it would only change once a month, but I would check it 15th, always on the 15th. Things just swim by, except if it's a weekend, then it's like the Monday or the Friday, but 15th, lock it in your calendar, 15th. So finally, I worked out what my number was and they started the system in October. So this is now a year since you put in your first application. And they show you on that bulletin sheet what number they're up to per country. Now I was looking back at the archives into the old newsletters and bulletins, and based on my number 576, I should have been seen in December. Okay, I was seen in February this year, so this year has been a lot slower than it would have been if I had applied the year before. So September 2015. I applied September 2016 and I got my visa February 2018. So it's a very long time. Then one day you get an email, yay! About a month out from your actual interview when you've been like, you're gonna be definitely in February or March or whatever it is. And they tell you, okay, it's time, accept the email, just do it. Honestly, if you need like, oh, I was supposed to work that day, forget work, forget everything. You don't want to have any more hassle, then trust me, book it right now, just approve. If there is a problem and you're away or whatever, you can email them, but you're not guaranteed a spot right away. You have to wait a long time more to like get another appointment spot. Just take it and run. The other thing you need to do before your appointment is have your medical test. Medical test has to be done, like I said, before you have your appointment. I think it was about the 16th of December or something, I got the email saying February 13th is your appointment date. So that was like a month and a half in advance. It depends where you are. In Australia, in Sydney, there are only 2 places where you can go get your medical test. There are other states in Australia, there's only 1. You have to go to that place. You can't go to your local GP, you have to go to these ones. I called up, made an appointment straight away. You have to fill out more forms, more everything, do it. And the other thing that I suggest you actually do, assuming that you're definitely gonna get an interview in the near future, look into what the medical people need. And I give them a call, even if you don't have your medical date or your actual appointment date, and ask what you need. Because you actually need a lot of vaccinations and you need to make sure they're all ticked off and checked. So I got my vaccinations throughout the year. They were all set to go. And it depends on your interview too. If your interview's like in the middle of the year, you have to get your flu vaccinations as well. So you gotta be on top of these things. And some of the vaccinations, my GP said, they don't like to do them like all at once because there's side effects that like, you know, contradict each other. So you need to have enough time to get them all done properly. And do it before your actual medical interview, because they will do it on the day if you haven't got it done, but they will charge you an arm and a leg for it, where you could have just gone to the GP and it would have been much cheaper. When you go for your medical test, if you can see from my last video, there are different parts, and make sure your paperwork is so done. There's a lot of paperwork just for your medical as well. So they do a general like body overview, like, you know, your eyesight, your blood pressure, you know, the jazz, urine sample. Then you go into the actual testing room, and it's like a thick like booklet that she has to ask so many questions about, very specific questions about your life and medical issues in the past. And then they test, you know, stuff, and then you go and get this like special blood test, not anywhere else, and it's all over the town, it's not in one place. And then you have to go get a chest x-ray. The US are obsessed with their chest x-rays for tuberculosis. I can't say that, but that's what they're testing. All up, it's about $600 that day, so make sure you've got the money aside and make sure you've got your injections done prior, because you don't want to pay any more than you have to. Once that is all done, more likely than not, you're fine. And more likely than not, I learned that if you go get your medical, you're pretty much through at this point if you've gone this far. A month later was my actual consulate visit. Oh, I was freaking out. It's okay, don't stress. Just make sure you have checked a billion times that you have the right paperwork. Some things you need the original and the copy. Some things you just need the original. Some things you just need a copy. Have it all. Have extra if you're not sure. Just do it and do it right, because you don't want anything setting you back now. You get into the consulate, you sit there, expect to wait up to 3 hours, and God, I knew about, because I would have been freaking out at this point. You're sitting there, everyone else is pretty calm except for you, so don't worry. And you go up there the first time they call you and you pay your fees, $330 that was. Go back to your seat, and then about an hour later they'll call you up for the actual interview, and it's not like a real interview, don't worry. It's literally like a bank teller desk. You've got the screen there and you just talk to them and they just ask questions, why you're going, what you're doing. I didn't get those questions, but I heard other people getting those questions. I had more about my jail issues, so that was different, and what my job is and stuff like that. But just be calm, be prepared. They're not there to hurt you or harm you. They're there to like help you get there and make sure that you have the right stuff and you're all good. And after that, you can walk out potentially with a green card. Well, you leave your passport and hopefully they put it in there and they send it through. So I'm just waiting for that one now. Oh, the other thing I must mention before I go, if you are lucky enough to get your green card, you have to have left your country and be living there within 6 months. The 6 months doesn't start from your consulate interview, it starts from your medical exam, because it's all about 6 months from you were last medically fit is the idea. If for some reason you have an emergency and you can't relocate within the 6 months, it is not the end of the world, I found out. They make it sound like that's it, your life's over. It's not. You just have to go back and have another medical exam. However, you do have to go back and pay the $600 fees to do so. I really suggest you just do it, move. I don't have too long to go at this point. I keep saying, oh God, another 5 months. I don't have another 5 months. I have 4 and a bit months, so I'm a bit like, ooh, there's so much to do. Where do I start? But that's for another vlog. I'm sure you will be there for the journey. Thank you again for all like the beautiful messages that people sent me and the questions. Everyone keeps asking me what my plan is and I have no idea whatsoever. I'm just like, I really hope this helps in any way, and please feel free to ask any questions below, because I honestly know how stressful and confusing and confronting the experience was, and long, let me just say, long the experience was. But it's okay, you will get through it, I promise, and I really have faith that everyone that really wants to go can go. Whether it be the green card, lottery visa, or some other way, you can do it. Just believe in yourself and you've got this. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday for another video. Have a lovely week. Bye.